You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Supernatural After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Supernatural After Show.
Uh-oh. Here comes the cops.
Watch out.
Uh-oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Supernatural After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I am Tom Connolly, and sitting next to me is...
I am Lyndsey Wegner.
How you doing tonight, Lyndsey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So Supernatural Season 9, Episode 7, titled Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, as the song we've got playing right now.
I thought it was a really good episode for people that have been, for fans of the show, because we really got a good look into the past of Dean in this episode. Mm-hmm. And it was, that was basically the overall theme of this,
The flashbacks and going back to kind of a time when him and Sam were separated.
Yeah.
So we kind of find out what was going on during that time, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Definitely a good insight.
Yeah, it was something that I have never seen, of all the seasons of, how Dean was when he was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've seen little bits of flashbacks of things, but nothing to this extent, at least I would say. It started, with an older man, present day. They're in this kind of abandoned barn. This tractor mysteriously turns on, and this man gets...
It's got
stakes.
Spikes
Yeah,
in it. Like it looks like what you do for the hay bales, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I think they put the hay bales on it, and this tractor just mysteriously turns on.
And it's moving,
yes.
though. Like, it was straight to the ground before when he was laying down on the ground, and then it moves up, so it's totally trying to kill him.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna get him while he's on the ground, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be nasty. But no, it gets him right in the stomach. Oof.
And it comes at the other end, and it's got blood dripping off of it outside of the barn. I was like, thank you. Now we really know what happened.
Yes.
We know for sure he's not coming back.
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe just, maybe it's a puncture wound. I don't know. Maybe. But no.
No.
And then we go to the bunker where Sam is looking for Dean, and he ends up picking up one of the Oz books. Yeah, Wizard of Oz
which I thought was great. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get into the episode this way.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to read a little bit about the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy and have this, connection, and we're going to come to this later on. And Sam's phone rings.
Yeah, so he doesn't
Dean's
get to read
phone
the book.
rings.
Yeah. I think he was, it's a kind of a nod to Charlie, who's, in Oz right now. So we'll see. I think it was a good play of the writers just be like, remember, this is
Don't
still
forget.
going on. So I like that part. I like that little tidbit there, like Easter egg.
I did too.
And Dean gets a phone call, or Sam picks it up, and he's looking for D-Dog. And he's like, who is D-Dog? And we find it's Dean, this guy Sonny, who owns this boys' home, where we find out that the man that died, he was at this home,
Reform
on this farm
school.
kind of thing. Yeah. So we get, Sam and Dean going to this boys' home.
But Dean this whole time has told Sam, and Dean's dad had told Sam that he was, they said that he went off was lost on a hunt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in reality, he was at this reform school
for 2
stealing.
months. Yeah.
And see, this is where all the lies began. Dean and Sam had these going. I mean, I couldn't really tell.
Dean was like 16.
Dean was 16, and Sam looked much younger. They looked way closer in real life. I think they are super close in real life, but
I would think there was I always thought there was like a 4 or 5 age difference.
But it looked like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. When we saw Sam at the
later on.
Yeah, later on in this episode.
But
young Sam.
So this was the beginning of the lies for Sam and Dean. Just the start, just the tip of the iceberg right there.
Yeah.
So they head to the farm where Dean, his dad had left him there for 2 months.
Yeah.
And
because Dean got caught stealing and
peanut butter and bread.
Yeah, which he was stealing for Sam because he knew Sam would be hungry. And Dean ended up losing all their money on a poker game or something. So kind of Dean's punishment was that he had to stay there. His dad wouldn't let him leave. So he's like, you have to stay here for, until I come back and get you. And Sonny seemed like, I liked his character. I thought he was a really good character. He was a good father figure to Dean.
Really good father figure. Yeah. Very
the complete opposite of their dad.
Yeah.
Because their dad just would, abandon them for times, and I mean, he was out, hunting monsters and demons, but
this guy was, you could tell he was a stable adult figure in Dean's life, somebody that Dean could look up to. And maybe not right away, maybe he didn't really trust him, but genuinely cared about Dean and wanted him to succeed in life and have a second chance. He kept preaching that, yes, I was given a second chance. I want you to have that same second chance that I did.
Yeah, because we found out that Sonny was an ex-con. So he started this reform school for the boys who wouldn't be good in the adoption system,
and they weren't old enough to be in county jail. So he started
they come
this
there. Yeah, they kind of do work. Yeah, they do work and
learn responsibility.
Yes, exactly. And then we get to it jumps back and forth
between the
a
flashbacks.
lot. Yeah. But let's just talk about the present. So they go to this farm where Jack has been killed. They go around investigating, but they just hear there's been noises, doors slamming, but they don't really know exactly what's going on, and they don't really find anything at first, Sam and Dean, when they're trying to investigate. And they run into Ruth, who is kind of like their
housekeeper, but she's very into religion. She's got her rosary beads with her. She prays the Bible.
Yeah. And so we find out that there was a man named Howard that Jack, who was killed in the barn, was Howard thought that Jack was messing around with his wife. So
Tareen or something like that.
So Howard tried to kill both of them. He wasn't able to kill Jack, but he killed his wife. And then we found out that he was in jail for life, but got out I think he died in jail last year. So Sam and Dean think, open shut case. We'll just go burn his bones and get on out of here. But that doesn't happen. They burn his bones.
But that isn't where this mysterious killing is coming from.
Yeah.
I liked, though, in the flashback, it shows Dean as the typical, badass as he is kind of right now.
Yeah.
He punched the cop because the cop was too slow, and the cop gets pissed, so he leaves them in handcuffs, and Sonny's actually helps him out and takes him out of the handcuffs and stuff. But he's got these bruises on his wrists, which look like they were from the handcuffs or something, and he says, no, they weren't from that. They weren't from his dad. They're from werewolves.
Yeah.
So it starts this whole thing. So I don't know if Sonny do you think Sonny knew what was going on with Dean at home, or do you think he gave any ideas to what was going on at home?
I think he thought Dean was just kind of pulling his chain, being oh, it's werewolves.
Yeah.
But I think Sonny did think at first that it was probably his dad.
I think so too. So you don't think in the 2 months that he was there that he had any sort of conversation about it?
About the bruises?
About about what he does with his dad in general.
Well, we did find out later that when they went to breakfast, they were eating, and he was like, "Oh, I see that you carved a pentagram into the bedpost, and you put salt, around in front of the door when you sleep at night." And Dean just kind of says, "It's a family thing. This is what we do," but doesn't really go into what they do.
What the extent of what they're doing is, that they're saving people and stuff.
Yeah.
But Dean found Timmy. He found the little boy first. He was the first person to talk to him. And Timmy said that the only thing is that he can tell it just got cold that night. They were all there when it happened, but it got cold that night.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out what's this ghost killing all these people. And after they burned Howard's bones, we go to a scene with Ruth, who's taking a bath, and suddenly it becomes really cold in the bathroom, and the mirror, freezes up, and the shower curtain falls on her, and whoever that lady who was the actress on that was an awesome shot.
She did great
of her getting suffocated,
strangled and suffocated to death
by the shower curtain. That just looked really cool. I was like, man, that's just.
I had a tough time watching this episode.
Yeah,
actually,
you did,
there were a couple times where I was sitting here and I couldn't. I'm like, I can't watch.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear the music. Can you turn the sound off? Because I just didn't want to see or hear what was going. I literally was like a little kid watching a scary movie. You know how they always say that the music is what scares the people. It's like, I can't listen to this episode today. It's freaking me out too much.
It's not even Halloween.
I know, exactly. So we've got she dies, and the crazy thing was that Sonny came to her rescue, but he couldn't save her. He couldn't get in. He was trying to break down the door, and nothing would stop it.
Yeah, he said the door
and
was
we later
locked.
found out there were no locks on the doors, though.
Mm-hmm.
They have no locks on any of the doors there, which would make sense for a reform school. They couldn't. But that was kind of cool.
Yeah, poor Ruth. She seemed kind of
She's a
very
little-
strict, but she seemed nice.
The warden.
Yeah,
the kids called her.
the boys called her the warden.
So we go back to another flashback.
Well, first Sam and Dean are in a restaurant, and Dean checks out this waitress, and then we get a flashback with him and Sonny in the restaurant, and this girl comes up named Robin. Dean, bats his eyes and whatever, gives a smile.
They got a little flirt going on.
Yeah. And we find out, she, is a waitress at this restaurant. Her family owns it, and
She's been there now for 15 years or whatever, since they had been there years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So he thinks that she's going to remember him right away,
Yeah.
and kind of gets shot down a little bit, and really bruises his ego. He's definitely.
I think he said he was like, you never thought you'd see me back here again, did you, or something like that? And she was like, who are you?
Yeah.
She was like, oh well, there's just so many other boys that come through here.
Yeah.
And Dean was like, oh, I really thought I had a connection with this girl, but I guess not.
So, but we see in that same thing that he's got all these. He wants to know why he's got all those quirks. That would be Sonny asking about the pentagram and all the other stuff that he puts salt in front of the door every time he goes to sleep. And so that's what we were kind of getting into there. But I don't think you're right. I think he didn't give too many details.
No, he didn't. No, he just kind of, said, yeah, that's kind of what I do. I just kind of do that. And they kind of and Sonny, you kind of respect him enough to just be like, okay, fine, I'll leave it at that. And, I figure you're doing. I feel like he knew that Dean was into something, supernatural, or I just felt like he knew, and Sonny is that kind of guy where he's just gonna be like, okay, that's cool, you don't want to talk about it. Yeah, you don't want to talk about it. I'm not gonna push you to talk about it.
He was the one who called Dean, so obviously he knew somehow that he'd be able to help.
Yeah. Yeah. So then
we get back to the farm.
And there's two boys picking on Timmy, and Dean just gets pissed at them, yells at them, says he would go Guantanamo on the boys if they touch him again. I like Timmy.
I like Timmy too. He was a cute little kid, and they basically get a little bit of information out of the kids, just that the rosary beads are missing.
Yeah,
that's all that they get. But we saw the rosary beads in the sink when she was in the bathtub, so we know that they were there with her at the time.
Yeah. And then we also find out that, as Sam's checking out the house and seeing what's going on, Sonny tells him that Dean was a championship wrestler in the school that he was at, and he was like getting good grades, and he really had this good life going on, Dean, which is something I've never known, that he had this basically normal life for 2 months at this farm that he. We never delved into before.
And he was succeeding and doing well away from everything else.
Yeah, like he didn't have to worry about hunting and all that other kind of stuff. He was just,
he got to be a kid.
Yes.
He got to enjoy his childhood. And so we see Robin show up to teach the guitar lessons that her mother used to teach at the school. And the boys are outside mowing the lawn, doing their chores, and the mower stops. And right away, I think we both know that, yes, the rosary beads are in there.
Yeah.
We know it. They're in there. And
So
this is where I had to turn away. So I'm not even let you.
Okay, so then, one of the boys, he sees the rosary beads in there, and it's kind of, it got caught on the propeller of the lawnmower. And, he decides, well, might as well, he turns it off at least, but I'm going to, reach my hand in there and get these rosary beads out, which I would have been like, no, that's okay. I don't need to get him out of here right now, or let's at least, figure out a different way to get this. And that was when you wanted me to turn the sound off and turn away. And the boy puts his hand in, and we see Timmy up in the window watching them. And he kind of looks, and the lawnmower gets turned back on, and the boy gets his hand cut, and blood splatters all over the taller young boy that was with him. And yeah, it was pretty brutal.
I'm glad I didn't see it. I don't feel bad. I don't feel like I have to go back and rewatch again.
Good special effects.
I'm
They're
glad
not even special effects, but good, props there.
But I
The
did
blood
see,
like spraying was awesome.
but I did see the hand go onto Timmy's shoulder.
Yes, yeah, it was it was like a burnt looking hand
Yeah,
on his
gloved
shoulder.
hand.
Yeah. So then, we get the Sam looking at Timmy's file, find out he was found in this abandoned building less than a year ago, and he's been running from social service people. So Sonny took him in because, that's kind of like his last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And, he seems like a sweet little kid. Why not, take him in and protect him and give him a place to live. Give him a nice place to live.
And Sam has he's been in the barn searching for more clues and trying to figure out what's going on. And there's pictures drawn up on the walls of what looks to be a car accident and a fire, which we assume belongs to Timmy since he was the one that Dean found in the barn in the first place.
And there's a picture where it's a little kid with glasses and it looks like him. So we see that and we're like, okay, well, this definitely has something to do with Timmy. We could, we saw the hand on his shoulder. And then we get back to another flashback of Dean. Dean sees Robin playing guitar. We see a flashback, and it's basically Dean's first kiss.
Yeah. Well, you can tell it's his first kiss because
Yeah.
she calls him out on it right away. She's like, that was your first kiss, right? And he gets all shy, and she's like, well, we'll just keep practicing.
Yeah. They did make it look awkward, too.
They did.
Definitely
They
made
did.
it look awkward.
Well, maybe it was their first kiss for the actors, too.
Yeah. May have been, yeah. Never know. We'll have to look into that.
When did you have your first kiss?
I was like 14 or 15. Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
What about you?
I think I was. Oh my gosh, it's gonna sound so bad. I think I was 17.
Oh, that's not bad. I think you're gonna say like 9 or 10. I don't know.
I can feel my face turning red right now.
But yeah, so Dean tells Robin that then we find out that Dean was gonna take Robin to a school dance and that he wasn't gonna leave her.
He wasn't gonna abandon her. He was gonna be there for her.
And I didn't write down what song was playing. Do you remember?
It was a Journey song.
Yeah,
I'm
or
pretty sure it was a Journey
some
song.
kind of like
It sounded like Steve Perry. I was actually super excited, but I hadn't heard the song before, and I know a ton of Journey songs, so it might be something that's a little bit more obscure.
Yeah, if you guys remember this song, let us know, because it was definitely one of those songs where it just went along with the scene.
Perfectly went with that time period and the scene and everything.
I'm never gonna leave you, baby.
Yeah,
Don't worry, you got
it was
nothing to
great.
worry about. And that's always when it happens after that he has to leave for some reason.
So now she's shown up to teach the lessons to the other kids.
Yeah.
And they start talking, and he has reasons for abandoning her, and he's gonna explain to her why.
Yeah, but he kind of gets cut off
because Timmy shows up.
Yeah, little Timmy, and he basically says he can't stop the ghost.
At first, I thought he was possessed. Because that's what they had originally thought. They're like, okay, was Timmy possessed? So they were going to make him, down salt or something like that?
Yeah, because that would expel the demon.
That would expel the demon.
Yeah.
So they were going to make, so I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, Timmy's possessed. This little kid that you think is good is the one that's possessed, but it wasn't.
Yeah. So then we find out that, Robin.
He can't control her, his
Dean,
mom.
Yeah, Dean tells him, tells her, we got to leave. You got to get out of here. Before they can do that, Timmy's mom shows up. And Sam ended up coming in the house. So now they're all trapped in the house. And, things are flying all over the place. Windows are breaking. But they can't get out of the house because we find out Timmy's mom is the ghost and has locked them in the house.
Because of a car accident that happened. Just, what he's like they say a little over a year ago. This car accident happened. Yeah. And she pushed him out of the car to save his life.
Yeah.
He went into and found like a space and hid and just cried for his mom.
Yeah. Because the car caught on fire and it exploded.
And it blew up. And he said when he cried for her, she came for him.
Yeah. Which is but she looked very different than
she obviously was burnt.
She was all
burnt to a
burned
crisp.
up. Which I don't get. I wish they would have explained more of how she was able to
come back.
Yeah, come back as like maybe she just didn't cross over, which I feel like that's how what happens later. She just she was like, I need to stay here to protect my son because he was basically left abandoned all by
left
himself.
alone. So maybe that's why, because she was there. Yeah, that's what she said. She was there to protect him. That's what he kept saying.
Yeah.
So she attacks Sam first off, and then Dean takes the action figure. Because he thinks that the little action figure that Timmy has been walking around with.
Yeah, because she gave it to him for his birthday. So we don't know where she got it from, but
we thought maybe they thought maybe that's where it was coming from. So Dean burns it, and Timmy's so bummed out because it says like his only toy.
Yeah.
And he burns it, and
that didn't happen.
Didn't make her
didn't
leave.
do anything. Yeah. So then the mom is, both attacking both Sam and Dean at the same time now. And Dean just tells him, you have to tell her to let this go.
Anybody that's a threat to Timmy.
Yeah, that she was going after. Yeah, so
and
the boys.
She didn't know that they weren't gonna hurt him.
Yeah. It was like almost like she was in this weird limbo of anybody that would mess with him, or she didn't care if they were helping him or not, she would attack them.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was just like a very overprotective mother for
a little
Timmy.
boy, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Timmy kind of tells her, that he loves her. And that, she just needs to stop and,
He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
He promises her he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Dean gave him a great pep talk saying that
mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to let go, even if it hurts the ones you love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That applies to so many things in your life sometimes. And
yeah. So Timmy, tells her, he's going to be okay. And suddenly her face changes from burnt to, human.
Beautiful, blonde woman.
Yeah. Timmy had a hot mom.
She's very, very pretty and young. And
Yeah.
then she leaves.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah,
runs.
so then she basically like crosses over.
Yeah, she crosses over
Mhm.
to hopefully.
Well, I don't.
Oh,
Where
I
did
don't
she
know.
go then? I don't
know. Oh, we may see her later
Yeah.
on. Bring back the hot mom.
Yeah, she may be a little pissed at them now for making her try to cross over to heaven where nobody can get into.
And he runs and hugs Dean.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is super cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Dean has a way with kids. It was a cute little scene in the beginning where he went to shake his hand and he basically
Taught
just
him
like
how.
grabbed his finger and he was like, no, you gotta shake hard, squeeze it as hard as you can, and look
the
him in
person
the eye. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cute.
It was, yeah.
Kind of like we saw with Cass last
Yeah.
week with him teaching him how to be with a girl on a date.
Yeah. Yeah. Dean is basically like a dad to all these kids they run into. And it's one of those things where Dean didn't really have a good
Father figure.
yeah, and he's actually pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Which you've seen like over other seasons. So I think it's one of those things where since he didn't have such a good father figure, he wants to be better, and if he has a chance to help younger kids, then he goes out of his way to help them, which I think is a good quality of Dean. For just how he acts most of the other time.
It just explains why he always has looked out for Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's obviously had that his whole life. So anybody that he can help, he wants to help.
Yeah, definitely. So then we come back to Sonny's farm, and Dean tells Robin, he's not a rock star, but this is the family business, but she thinks he was.
Because she saw this go on too, so now he's got to explain himself to her. So I think that gives her maybe a little bit of closure that she was looking for this whole time.
Yeah, because then they I thought Timmy was gonna stay with her, but he's staying at Sonny's.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought maybe
she's
like,
just there
now he has a
to
new
continue
mom.
to help the kids and stuff.
Yeah. And then
Sonny's happy to have things back to normal.
Yes, basically, yeah. And so then Sam asked Dean how. I was trying to read my notes and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Sam asked Dean, how did you know telling Timmy to let his mom go would work? And
he
Dean
says
was
he
just like,
didn't.
I don't know. I didn't know.
I took a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. And then Sam basically says that being at Sunny was the best part of Dean's life, and Dean just
Dean says he
didn't
couldn't
feel
wait
right.
to leave.
Yeah. Which I think is just.
I think
he's such a liar.
I think he's just covering for it, and
Lies.
the fact that he did enjoy it because we flashed back to him getting ready for the dance. He was going to go to the dance with her. He wasn't abandoning her.
Yeah.
And you called it right away and said, "I bet his dad shows up."
Yep.
And sure enough, his dad there. He says he needs him. He has a job, and that Sonny tells him, he said, "You'll know what to do."
Yeah. Well,
And he
but
tried
Sonny
to
was gonna
plead with him
Yeah.
to
Sonny
let
was
him
gonna.
stay.
Yeah. Sonny was gonna go talk to his dad and be like, I want him to stay here, But he said that this was Dean, this place gave Dean a second chance, which I think it did because it brought him back to it let him have that normal life for a little bit, and he wasn't out hunting demons and killing things. He was just a normal 16-year-old kid, which, I mean, to me, I've lived being a 16-year-old kid, so I've never lived a life of hunting demons and stuff.
The excitement.
Yeah. Oh, it must be
Spontaneity.
so exciting.
Going out
So
and killing
exciting.
people.
Yeah. Must be. No, that must not be And then Dean looks out the window and sees Sam in the car, and I think that was just basically him seeing Sam was
what made his decision for him, and that's why we said we felt like they looked much further apart in age.
Yeah. Sam definitely looked a lot younger in that, and the actor that played like the young Dean, I couldn't decide. I felt like sometimes he looked like Sam, a younger Sam, and then at the end in that last scene he looked like Dean. So it was a weird back and forth.
There were even certain words when the actor would say them that sounded like Dean. That I was like, oh, wow, that sounds just like Dean. But I totally agree with you. I think it was kind of hard to distinguish him. I suppose if the kid would have had long hair, then we knew, which is what the kid in the car did. He had like a shaggier haircut. So that was meant to represent Sam.
Yeah. And, we go back to the present day, and Sam just thanks Dean for everything, for having his back.
For being there for him this whole time.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. And Dean just says, what are you talking about? And they drive off into the night, on to the next case. Dean's just so not emotional. Like, but when he was younger, he was. Like, he almost started crying when Sonny told him that his dad was there and he couldn't go to this dance.
He's become unattached.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he's been through a lot of stuff over the years.
A lot.
Yeah, he's definitely been through a lot. So the only person, he's attached to Sam, Cass, Kevin, but it's that very, close circle that
I
he
still
lets
think
in.
it's even, if he had to, he got rid of Cass. If he had to get rid of Kevin, I think he'd tell Kevin to leave. But I don't think he'll ever leave Sam. I don't think he'd be able to live with himself.
Yeah, because I do think Dean does feel that everything that's happened to Sam has been his fault all along, because he got him into this in the first place. Like, they started this to finish their dad's work. So, and Sam was doing fine at college by himself, and then Dean brought him into this. So, yeah, I think he wanted Sam to have that normal life that he never had, which we actually got a glimpse tonight at seeing that he did have it for 2 months, which I thought was really cool. 2
months too short.
Yeah.
Not long enough.
And Dean's just a liar. That's all I could say.
Started from his 16.
Yeah. But this week we saw no Cass, no Kevin, no
Ezekiel.
No, we didn't see anything.
Nothing. No. Abaddon.
Yeah.
No Crowley. Nobody. Just Dean and Sam.
Mm.
It was kind of cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I did like it was a good change of. They're really spacing these out really well, of giving us a little story of just Sam and Dean, mixing in Kevin, mixing in Crowley, Cass, mixing everyone in here and there.
And getting with the story of what happened with the angels falling, but not just doing it all in one, which I like.
Yeah, I like that. Not every week is following like, oh, another angel fell, or what's this angel doing?
It makes it so much more interesting that way. I feel like each week I'm watching a different show.
Yeah, and it
doesn't feel like the same thing happening over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like a monster of the week or angel of the week of like, oh, this angel can do this, and now we're gonna go fight this one. I like that it's very different. Do you have any news and gossip for us?
I do. I've got 2 little bits of news and gossip for you guys.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So Jared blasted Jay-Z on Twitter, tweeting, "Hey Jay-Z, society needs you to stand up to racism more than you need another million. You have enough money. Try having some principles." Ooh. And that is in regards to, first off, the tweet in less than a half hour was retweeted 1,000 times and favorited nearly 2,000 times.
Wow.
So big. Obviously, he's got lots of followers following him.
Why did he do that?
Well, recently, disturbing allegations against Barney's surfaced, claiming the New York City store was mistreated and wrongly detained African-American clientele, leading to calls for a boycott.
I did hear about that. Okay.
So then, despite calls for solidarity, Jay-Z announced on Friday that he will not back out of his planned collaboration with the store and the launch of his holiday collection, and is moving forward, although he will be involved in the store's review of its policies. And that's on www.breitbart.com.
Okay.
So, kind of crazy.
And then, really be involved in the store's policies?
I don't think so either.
Sorry.
But But I think it was kind of cool that, Jared
mhm.
came up and
I do
kind
like
of
that.
called him out on it and stuff. And you definitely have to be careful as a celebrity what you're putting your time and your effort and your money into, and
Yeah.
what's promoting you, because that does go out there and can give people the wrong idea.
Yes,
So
definitely.
kind of interesting that Jared did that. And then according to CantonRep.com, Sam will be joining the fray again soon. He won't require as much from Zeke or Dean, and is noticing Dean has been on edge. The tension is rising, and Sam is catching on. Jensen says that when the truth comes out, it won't be pretty. It's going to explode, and the ugly truth will have to rear its head.
Uh-oh. Ooh, I can't wait.
I know. I'm so excited.
I hope we see this before it breaks for, the like mid-season break. But,
Yeah.
Do
you have any?
There's only 2 episodes. No, I don't have any news and
No
gossip
news and
this week.
gossip.
But there's only 2 episodes left until the break.
Till the break.
So that's gonna be cool.
Let's hope we get a little piece of
And
that
now,
before.
your
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Do you want to go first tonight?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so predictions. Since we do have only 2 more episodes till the show breaks for a couple weeks, part of me does want to see something with the blow up between Sam and Dean, and part of me doesn't, because I don't know if I'll be able to wait literally that long to
Someone's knocking at the door.
hey. I don't know
It's
if I'll
Sam and Dean. No.
Oh, we got them in studio tonight. Just kidding. We would wish.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Okay, sorry.
But no, that's okay. So as much as I'd love to have that kind of come to fruition before then, if it does, I'm going to be so nervous, like waiting for a couple weeks to find out what's going to happen then. I don't know if I'm ready for that. So in the next week or 2, I think we're going to see Zeke at least once more, because like Jensen said, there's got to be some reason that Sam is noticing this difference and that Dean has been on edge and stuff. So I think we'll see Zeke at least once more. And I kind of want Abaddon to come back too before that and see her actually, like we saw, an episode ago, but actually have something with her kind of come back
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Not Crowley necessarily, but we have to figure out the spell for Crowley that we think Crowley's going to be involved in getting the angels back up to heaven.
Yeah. I think it's definitely gonna, it's gonna happen. I feel like that's how they're gonna leave us, with that cliffhanger of Sam finds out, and then almost, I say it's gonna happen to where, I think I said this before, but I think something's gonna happen to Dean, and then Zeke is gonna have to help him, but then Sam's gonna come up and be like, "What is going on? Because I just saw you I don't know, maybe die or get really hurt, and now you're perfectly fine. Like, what's going on?" Like, that's how it's gonna happen. It's gonna backfire. I feel like they're making it seem like something's gonna happen to Sam, but they're gonna switch it around and something's gonna happen to Dean.
So that Sam has to notice what's going on.
Yeah, and I feel like we will see. I feel like hopefully Abaddon will be back, and then Crowley. But I do think that Abaddon will be the big bad the rest of the season, like the second half of the season. I feel like Sam's gonna come back to life and Zeke is gonna be out of him eventually this season. I don't see that. I don't see that. I hopefully it doesn't play out all season, because I feel like that would just be
I don't
too
think
much.
that's too long for it to be. I think this episode, nothing really happened to either guy. They got a little beat up by the zombie woman, but for the most part, neither of them were really physically hurt by it. So once again, we said Sam's got to be up in power. He's got to be getting back to normal health.
Yeah.
So pretty soon he's not going to need Zeke.
Yeah, and we saw at the beginning of the episode, Dean was like, "Oh, let's get everybody to go," and Sam was like, "Dean, what are you talking about? It's only us here." But he was definitely talking about, "Hey, you two in one body. Are you ready to go?" I thought that was funny, but that's one of those little things where Sam is noticing Dean saying things like that, and he's definitely just gonna get more and more on edge, and either Dean's gonna tell him to. I don't see that happening though. I don't see Dean just coming out and be like, "Hey, guess what? There's an angel in your body."
No way.
Yeah.
No way, because like we said, Sam will immediately freak out and expel it, and not knowing the truth and how it's actually saving him, and if he expels it, he's gonna die. So I don't think that can happen. But
No.
we're going to have some good stuff coming next week.
Yeah. Next week is like 4 kids missing.
Dragons,
Yeah.
purity pledge,
Yeah, they're virgins again.
sacrifice.
But yeah. So that wraps us up here.
That does wrap us up here.
Where can they find you?
Well, you guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter.com/Lyndsey Wegner, my blog, lyndsey.wegner.blogspot.com, and hosting the Shaws of Sunset after show later tonight. And what about you, Tom?
They can find me on Twitter at TomTheCom. Tomorrow night, Abby's Ultimate Finale at 8 and WWE Main Event at 10 o'clock.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. We will see you next week.
See you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.